Hey everybody, thank you for joining in tonight. Tonight we're going to take a look at the Victoria bamboo style mod from Angel 6. I picked this up on their website for $18. A little bit of something about Angel 6. You can find them on the web at www.angel6.com. You can also find them on Facebook. I will leave a link down below for both of them. They're based out of China, but one of the unique things about this company is, and you've heard me say it in many other videos, they have a USA-based warehouse here. So when you order something, you usually get everything within 5 to 7 days. I've never had anything, I think, over 6 days, I think, on any of my things that I've ordered from them. Big thumbs up onto that. They're one of my favorite suppliers. They sell all sorts of mechanical mods. They sell RDAs. They sell RBAs. They sell, they sell many different things. And I'm starting to see now they're getting some box mods over there. Like I said, they're one of my favorites. But anyways, we're not here about that. We're here about to talk about this mod here. We're going to dive down a little bit, talk about a little bit, some of the things I like about it, some of the things I don't like about it. But for an $18 mod, it's a nice little mod here. So why don't you sit tight, sit back, grab a vape, and we'll dive down below. So hold on 1 minute. We'll be right there. Alright, so here we are down below here. Excuse me. And this is the box that it comes in here. It just says electronic cigarette mod, nothing spectacular. It's got your little CE, SGS. It's got your recycling, do not throw out, dispose of properly, meaning. And that's about it. Nice sturdy box though. It's it's a generic box, but it's a nice presentation. It sits in here in a nice velvety cushion, so it's gonna not move around on you, so that's very good. Nothing else into there. It's the only thing that comes into it. So let's move those to the side. And here's the mod here. Take it out of the cellophane. And see it in all its glory here. And this is a 22 millimeter wide onto it. It is 102 millimeters long. This weighs 220 grams without the battery, so it's relatively light. This only does support 18650 batteries. This will not support button top batteries. It has copper contacts on the top cap and down into the tube. And it's actually a double contact here. One is for the battery rattle and your atomizer adjustment. It's an all stainless steel body. You can get this into the black and stainless. You can get this in black and copper. You can get this white and copper, and then they have a new one that has the white crackle finish onto it. Really cool looking. This one right here is going to cost $18 for this one. For the black and copper, it's going to be $19.83. For the white and copper and the white crackle, it's going to cost you $22.10. So let's go over some of the things that I picked out onto it, because I've had this here now for a little over a month, and I've been using it pretty much a lot. And there's a few things that I like about it, and there's a few things that I don't like about it. So let's go over, let's take a look at this here. And so let's start at the top here. And like I said at the beginning, you cannot use button top batteries because of the way this adjustment is. When I first got this, I had trouble getting a regular 18650 into there because the Delrin on the outside of this here, where your battery rattle adjustment is, was actually sticking out farther than it should. So I could not get even a regular size one without going about like to there. Maybe actually a little bit farther than that. But I had actually pushed it in, and as you can see, I marked it up a little bit. Those marks were not there. This was actually in very good condition when I got it. But to get that pressed back in, and when I did, it snapped actually into place. So that made that adjustment so I was able to have it sit onto there completely flush. There is, like I said, this does have the double adjustment onto it. And keep an eye on for your 510 connections, because some that have the longer 510 connection, you're going to have trouble again putting this to line up, to have it screw all the way on. So there is an adjustment there, but you're limited on your adjustment. So and then on your contact here, these are supposed to be copper contacts, and let me see if I can get a light down into there to, well, As you can see, it actually almost looks brass now, and that's only because I've had trouble with that firing pin corroding, not tarnishing, but corroding, and I believe it falls onto the either the plating onto the magnet that's inside of this, because this is a magnetic switch, or it's just a very low grade plating altogether, but it's actually a corrode, not a tarnish onto it. So that is one of the downfalls I do see onto this. And like I said, this is a magnetic switch. So let's take off the bottom here and take a look at that. This is a copper contact here, and underneath is your magnet, and it's a very, very tiny magnet. And I'll take the cover off of that so you can see. But as you can see here, you got the black Delrin onto this with the 4 holes, and then it's surrounded by the copper with a very, very tiny let's see if I can zoom in onto that. And it's very, very tiny magnet. I would like to see a bigger magnet and a better quality magnet, only because I don't know if this will pick that up here, but on the Delrin on the outside, as you can see, one side has all really dug right in, and the other side is barely even touched, only because that shroud is not like on a magneto where it screws down in. This is press fit in, and it's not sitting straight, and it might be only this particular mod, but it might, I don't know, I haven't heard anybody else complaining about it. But because of that, it doesn't allow, when you put your, and I'll go over that and I'll show you that, you actually have to hit directly in the center for that to fire, because if you try to hit off on the side, it will cause it to cause it to misfire, and it's because your magnet here and here do not line completely up. So if they actually had a stronger magnet or a bigger magnet, it would help give it more surface area to hit. But because the way this is pressed in, like I said, if it was screwed in like on a magneto, it would sit more flush, but it might be just only this particular tube. But let's take a look at the switch here. Like I said, this is a copper contact onto that. And there's, come on, that's the size of the magnet right there on both sides. I mean, it's a very, very tiny magnet, and it doesn't I want to make sure I have that polarity the right way, so we're good. I don't know if it's shot out, but because of that not sitting on there flush with such a small area, you don't make a good contact onto there all the time. So like I said, I would definitely, that's another downfall onto it that I would like to see, is that magnet, either a bigger one or a stronger one, to get you a better contact, because with that not sitting in there straight, it does cause it to misfire. Here's your logo. That's in there very, very nice and deep. This does have, like I said, the bamboo style, where these ridges are actually raised above the rest of it. This has like a, I don't know if you can hear that, but it has this grooves that run behind there, and so it feels kind of weird in your hand at first, but it's very, very comfortable and light. And as you can see, it does have your locking ring. Works very well. This is serialized. You've heard me in the past say that I don't care about the logo. I kind of like the logos on the mods, even though they are a clone. Serial numbers can go away because those are really useless. But I do like, I like the logos onto it, and that's just in my opinion only, and I'm not for anything else. On the bottom here again, it says fabricated by JA. Again, like the original, that's another logo that should go away. I don't mind the one that's like on the center, for this, like on your Nemesis and your different ones. I don't have a problem with the logo there, but the serialized and saying that it's made in the USA, manufactured by this company. This is not manufactured by fabricated by JA. This was done by another company. It's a clone company. So that should not be on there. Like I said, I have no issue there, but those are two of the other issues. One other issue I do have is the edges are kind of sharp. And one concern I do have is that it is such a tight area that if you, and it did happen to me here, is that if you were to, let me see if I can bring that down a little bit. So these are brand new 25Rs. I mean, this thing probably has an hour's worth of use onto it. I put it into this tube here, nicked the side of that tube. So now it's, I'm not going to use this into this one here. I'll end up putting a new jacket onto it. But because of that being such a tight area, that if I was to put this one in there that has that nick, as you can see, that battery does not move side to side because it is such a small area. That could cause a dead short on the side of the tube there. So that is another concern of mine. So now let's get to the atomizer part, and I'll show you how to do the adjustment. We'll just grab this one here. This is, I know it's a 0.7, I believe it is. And screw your atomizer on just like all your rest of them. But then you want to take that ring, that first one for your battery rattle, and just draw that into there. Make sure back that center out a little bit so you can get a nice contact, flush contact onto your battery. Right about there. You want it to be just enough to touch, but you don't want to go past the Del rim because then you're not going to have any kind of contact on your atomizer to your battery. So you want it to look pretty much just like that, so you'll make full contact on there, and then you fire it onto there. And as I said, this right here, this is why it will not take a button top battery. That is a full size, the screwdriver I can put right down into the groove. That's why you cannot put a button top battery into that. So let's talk about the firing part. And like I said, when you press in the center, you can hear it fires right up. But when you hit on the sides, see how it causes it to misfire? You have to hit directly in the center onto this. That's why I said if it had a bigger magnet to cover more area, and it might be just only on this particular one I have, that it not sitting in there straight. I don't know if I've seen anybody else complain about it, but I noticed I was having that problem, and that's why I said if it had a better magnet into it, a bigger one, that would help that. So let me take a rip onto it, and then we'll close up shop, and we'll talk about it a little bit more upstairs. This thing blows clouds for days. I mean, it works when it works. It works beautiful. When it's misfiring, it can be a little frustrating. So hold on, we'll go up to the top and we'll talk about it a little bit more. Alright, so here we are back up on top again. Product we took a look at was the Victoria Bamboo Style Mechanical Mod from Angel 6. An $18 mod. I'll tell you some of the things I like about it, some of the things I don't like about it. We talked about it a little bit down below, but let's just recap about it. It's an $18 mod. Like I said, Angel 6 is still one of my favorite suppliers. This is not one of my favorite mods, but it's still a very viable, mod for someone that's looking to get into mechanicals without having to break their wallet. So some of the likes I did like about it, I do like the finish onto it. It feels very, very comfortable in your hand. It's very lightweight. Even with a battery and an atomizer, it's still not very, very heavy. Again, like I said, the price, $18, you definitely get your money's worth. You get $18 worth of it for a mechanical mod here. It only fits the 18650 battery, so you're going to have a good conductivity all the way through. So that's a plus there. Now, some of the dislikes. One of the things, you can't use a button top battery. You'll have trouble with atomizers that have a longer 510 stem onto it. So you'll have to keep fussing with your adjustment onto it, but if some of them are too long, you're not going to be able to, because like I said, even with this one having a short one, it's got the gap onto it. The bottom firing pin on the inside there with the corrosion, it keeps doing it. Like I said, I've had this thing for over a month, and about once a week I'm down there with a pencil eraser just getting all the corrosion off. I'm not, it's like I said, it's not tarnished, it's staying the regular like a brass copper color, but I'm talking like an actual corrosion coming up through, and it's either from the magnet or from just the plating itself. I'm not really sure, but that is causing a big voltage drop onto that. The bottom firing pin is pressed in crooked, but again, if they had a bigger magnet into it, it would help compensate for that, so you'd have a better firing onto that. And the edges are kind of sharp, like I said, when I showed you the battery where it nicked one, and with that being so close into there, I will not use that battery into here until I put a new jacket onto it, because I don't want it to touch the sides and cause it to short. But overall, your customer service, everything, any issue I've had with Angel 6, anything like that, I mean, you can find them on Facebook and talk to them right onto there. They're very responsive. Again, they're over in China, so they're a little bit of time frame. So, but when they're on, you talk to them. I have never had an issue whatsoever. I got this here from California to here to my house in Connecticut. On this, I got this here in 5 days. Like I said, I've never had any issue with any of their shipping. It's always taken between 5 to 7 days, and I can't complain about it. Like I said, it's better than having to wait a month and a half for Fastec. I mean, there's stuff that I had ordered at the beginning of December. We're almost at the end of January. I still haven't gotten it. What are they going to do? Go on China New Year's, and then I'm not going to be able to get it again? I don't know. They say it was shipped. I haven't seen it. Either way. But we're not talking about Fastec. We're talking about here. Like I said, I love Angel 6, and I can't complain about any of their customer service, and their shipping is very timely for me. I've never had any issues. Your packaging, it's a very generic packaging, but it does fit this mod nicely into there. Big thumbs up onto that. Your ease in use, you've heard what I like and what I don't like. So on a scale of how would I rate this here for your ease in use and everything, I'm going to give you a 6 out of 10. That's just my opinion onto this mod. It's still a very good mod. Like I said, I paid for it, so I have no problem on doing the review and giving you an honest opinion onto it. I will definitely give you, it's still a decent mod, but it's an $18 mod. You're going to get $18 worth of workmanship out of this mod. That's just in my opinion. But overall, like I said, I've never had any issues with Angel 6. I will leave a link down below, www.angel6.com, and I will leave a link down below for their Facebook. I'll be down there below for all of that. So that's going to do it for tonight. So until the next time, everybody, keep vaping.